Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, folks. How you doing today? Yes, it is Friday. This is not Wednesday. It is Friday. That's because our boy Matt, the mortgage guy, was on Wall Street ringing the bell. So we had to do this Friday. How you doing, man?
I'm doing great, man. That was a fun experience. I was with UWM and a bunch of other brokers from across the country, just celebrating mortgage brokers.
There
So
you go. Had to be a blast. I'm glad you got to do that. And really, thank you for coming back Friday because we got a lot of stuff happening in the mortgage market that we had to talk about. And perhaps the biggest thing in residential mortgages is Fannie and Freddie, or FHFA, I think, reduced a half a point fee that they had added to refis during this crisis. Didn't that happen?
correct. And so for anybody who was unaware, there was a adverse market fee, they called it, added to all refinances. And just so people know, when you see a fee of 0.5%, don't get it confused that that fee makes the rate go from 3% to 3.5%. It's a half a point in cost.
Yes.
Meaning that if your $300,000 loan had no points and they put that adverse fee on, now you've got a half a point in cost, $1,500 in cost.
Correct.
And I see some confusion on that. So I just wanted to clear that up for anybody watching. It probably equates to an eighth in interest rate is what it is they tack that fee on and you go from getting a 2.875 with no cost to now it's a 3%. So it's about an eighth in rate. That was removed. So rates got better or loans got cheaper, however you want to look at it.
Yeah, it's funny because one of the things, if you know my story, which you do, right, is I not only watch the real estate market, I watch the lending market. Because if you watch the lending market, they send these little signals. And I think it was 8 months ago when they had this half point fee added, it was clear they were nervous and they wanted to do less lending, right? Especially refis. It was a refi fee. And now they're looking at their book going, forbearance, not as bad, right? Only 1.5% of stuff ends up being foreclosed on, right? They did all these other things. It's not nearly an issue. And now they're like, nope, no more adverse fee. We don't need it. Let's get cranking. So that's how I read it.
Yeah. And I've been answering questions. People are like, why did they remove it? And I said, the better question is why they put it on.
Exactly.
Because they put it on and it was one of those things where they just make a decision. They put out a letter and this fee is on there. And then I think what happened was some people pushed back. And so they said, okay, we'll delay it. And they waited 6 weeks until they officially implemented it.
Right.
But the thing is, we were looking at it and mortgage brokers and people in the industry were saying, what adverse market are you talking about?
Yeah.
There's no adverse market right now. This market's as good as ever. These loans are as clean and as good as ever. So I don't know what adverse market you're talking about, but like you said, they're trying to forecast something and saying, hey, if things get rocky, we want a little bit more cushion, right?
Yeah.
And so they put the adverse fee on. And I think that exactly like you do, they realized, 1.5% of people are the only ones that are going to,
lose
foreclose or short sale because of forbearance. All these things we thought might be an issue are not going to be an issue. Okay, we can remove that fee. And it was the right thing to do.
Yeah.
A lot of us will probably argue that they never should have done it in the first place, but
that's hindsight. Yeah, I think it is what it is. It's hindsight, right? I mean, if you just try to step into their world, right, at a moment in time, about 7% of their loans were in forbearance. That's unusually high. Let's just call it what it is. Now, as things rippled through, we went from, we have these avoidable foreclosures. We only have 1.5% of them being bad, which is not normally higher than another period. It's like, okay, let's get rid of it. So I give them credit. I mean, I get why they did it. Hindsight's 2020. They shouldn't have done it. But, thank God they got rid of it.
Yeah, for sure. And for anybody who was on the fence, I made a video recently where I just talked about, as much as I'm against the marketers are like, experts urge you to refinance this summer before these low rates go away. You just keep getting these extra incentives where it's like rates are low. They dip even lower. We don't know what the future holds. And then you get this little extra half a point in betterment. And now I'm not shy about just telling people like, help me help you.
Yeah.
Because there's people I talk to every day. And what I've learned, Mike, is that as clear as it can be to me, people, for whatever reason, maybe because in the past, the mortgage position has looked like a sales position and they've been talked into things that might benefit them. But I'm telling people like, listen, we can do this where we roll in the fees or pay for the fees with a slightly higher rate, still save you $200 a month at literally no cost. Like
Yeah.
there's no reason not to do this loan. And so there's a lot of people in that position. And I know through watching one of your videos, rates might not go up for a year and a half. This is per your prediction.
Yep.
I'm really thinking that by the end of this year, rates are going to move.
Okay.
And, we've talked about it before where the Fed doesn't have to necessarily even start making moves. They can talk about making moves.
Exactly.
And that late August Jackson Hole meeting, if they even hint at anything,
True.
like I went through the charts on a video and I said, look at this mid-June, look at February. You can move 0.5% in rate in a week.
Yep.
And so I wouldn't be surprised if everything's great. Everything's honky dory. I'm showing so many people 2.75. It looks like a great deal.
Oh, wow.
End of August, there's a meeting, 3.375 2 weeks later. That can happen. I'm not saying it necessarily will, but it can.
Yeah.
And so if you're in a position where a refinance makes sense, don't take that for granted. I mean, in my seat, I just get to have the sad and sour conversations of, dang it, did I miss it? I really wanted to. Things got busy. We're on vacation, and then I had to help my mom move, and then I had to do this. People get busy and lives are busy.
Yeah.
Find a mortgage broker who can help you,
Yeah. If you're in California, let's just put it out there, right? If you're in California, right, that extra 0.5 point cost is real, right? A lot of California cities, you were talking, 500 grand, 800 grand loans. It's like real money, right? So again, if it makes sense now, especially if you're paying PMI, you have great appreciation. I just reported this morning, what was it? 23% year on year median price appreciation. So if you're in PMI in California, get out of it. Lower rate and term. Yeah, if you can roll the cost in and save a couple $100 a month, when is that not a bad idea? I mean, if you're in California, you need to reach out to Matt, the mortgage guy. How do you want them to do that?
Just shoot me an email, matt@mattthemortgageguy.com. Some people are super savvy and they've already heard me say it before that with a guesstimate of their credit score and a statement that I can give them an estimate. So they skip the introduction, which I'm fine with.
Yeah.
Send an email that says, Matt, I'm thinking about refinancing. What do you think? Attached is my mortgage statement. My credit score is about 780. I don't want any cash, just a rate and term refi. And I'm telling you that with as many of these as we get, I am only going to be pursuing you if it's a deal where I know that we're going to help save you money and have a 12-month break even, 18-month break even. I'm even to the point where I'm telling people, it's a 2-year break even. Do with it what you will. But if you're a 9 or 10-month break even and you're saving $300 a month,
really,
I'm going to label it green light refi. And my team knows, let's follow up with these people a couple times a week, not because I need an extra mortgage, but because I don't want to look back in 3 months and have them call me and be like, hey, Matt, I'm thinking about refinances. And then I look at my notes. I'm like, oh my gosh, I talked to this person in July.
Yeah.
Like I have some regret there because I just know that it's meaningful for people, and $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 a year in added interest for no reason.
Yeah.
Well,
here's the deal, folks. We're actually recording this on Friday, which means you're going to be watching this Friday or into the weekend. You need to stop right now. You don't have any excuses. These are normally on Wednesday and you go to work tomorrow and you get all bothered and busy. Well, it's Friday. Stop what you're doing. Go get your mortgage statement. If you're in California paying PMI, you have a rate that's over 4%, whatever it is, send them it, see if it makes sense for you, because it's Saturday and Sunday. And you should, again, if you could save $3,000 a month, I'm sorry, $3,000 a year, $3,000 a month, $3,000 a year. Why not? Right. Yeah,
exactly. And I mean, I'm easy. I hope that people will give the feedback of,
so far they love you.
Yeah. Matt gave me honest feedback because really it's the case. I've got people that are asking to do business and I go, listen, it doesn't make sense for you. Let's revisit it. Maybe when you've got, more equity, or maybe when this happens, but for now, like I'd stay put. That's the exact advice I'm giving. If I sit in your seat and I look at that mortgage and pretend like it's mine, would I refinance or not? And that's how I'm going to advise.
Might as well ask, right?
Right.
Again, Matt at mattthemortgageguy.com. And before you ask, yes, there are 3 T's in a row. Matt at mattthemortgageguy.com. There is 3 T's in a row. So thanks, buddy. Take care.
Yep. Thanks, Mike.